Autumn is in the air, folks. Welcome back to Car Drivin Podcast. I'm your host, Jakrit, Patchimanon. If you're just tuning in, Car Driving Podcast is your number one companion for the best car driving experience. We are the world's first fully interactive podcast. If you need to get from point A to point B and want the company of the greatest friend you will ever have, then hey, Car Driving Podcast is right by your side, rubbing your shoulders and keeping up with the Kardashians. Hey, what do you say we get going? Well, alright, you sound stoked, listener, and so am I. The last thing we have to do here is set our GPS navigation system, because the last thing we want to do here is get lost. Boy, I remember the last time I got lost.
Excuse me, but this is an emergency.
Yes, sir?
What city is that over there?
That's New York, sir.
Yikes, I did it again.
And now we go to Patrick Bateman with the weather. We'll be right back.
I live in the American Gardens building on West 81st Street, on the 11th floor. My name is Patrick Bateman. I'm 27 years old. I believe in taking care of myself, in a balanced diet and a rigorous exercise routine. In the morning, if my face is a little puffy, I'll put on an ice pack while doing my stomach crunches. I can do 1,000 now.
Welcome back to Car Driving Podcast. I'm Jakrit Patchimanon. There are pumpkins everywhere, folks. 'Tis the season for pumpkin carving and pumpkin spice and pumpkin pie and my favorite, pumpkin spice sandwich from Quiznos. Alright, it's time to set our navigation systems. Listener, do you know where you're going tonight? It sounded like you said,
Jimmy Dean Sausage.
did I hear that correctly? Where are you going this evening, listener? It sounded like you said,
Halloween party.
did I hear that correctly?
Calculating route. Destination, Dana Carrot's Halloween party.
Oh wow. Dana Carrot's Halloween party, huh? Say, do you think Gerald will be there? Do you think he'll ask you out this time? Really? Yeah? For real?
Turn left.
Well, good luck with that. We'll be right back.
There is an idea of a Patrick Bateman, some kind of abstraction, but there is no real me, only an entity, something illusory. And though I can hide my cold gaze, and you can shake my hand and feel flesh gripping yours, and maybe you can even sense our lifestyles are probably comparable, I simply am not there.
All around me are familiar faces, worn out places, worn out faces, fighting to live for their daily races, going nowhere, going nowhere. Their tears are filling up their glasses, though
Welcome back to Car Driving Podcast. Did you hear that? That's the sound of Spooky Halloween Sound Effects Collection Volume 2, Ghost Ship Edition. And we've got over 6 hours of it here on Car Driving Podcast. You know, aside from all of the spooky stuff, Halloween is really one of the best holidays, don't you think? I mean, some costumes really do scare the bejesus out of me. Which brings me to our first guest. He is a celebrity costume designer. Please welcome Mr. Owen Luke Wilson.
Hi, Jakrit. It's great to be here.
Thanks for coming on Car Driving Podcast.
It's really my pleasure.
Okay, so Owen, what type of costumes do we have in season for our celebrities today?
Well, celebrities usually wear really expensive costumes. I wouldn't really know what they would be wearing. That's a little out of my league.
Okay.
I actually design costumes of celebrities.
So you would design, say, a costume of Matthew McConaughey from True Detective?
No, it would be like a costume of what Matthew McConaughey would wear to the True Detective set so that you feel like you are Matthew McConaughey. Again, not like any of his characters, but like the person, Matthew McConaughey.
What would Robert Downey Jr. Wear for Halloween?
Well, I have a really popular Pauly Shore costume that I would recommend for Mr. Downey Jr. It's possibly one of my most popular looks. Ironically, my most popular costume is actually my Robert Downey Jr. costume, which is as he appears at the Oscars when he was honored for his work in Chaplin. Yeah, that Robert Downey Jr. costume is actually just it's a black tuxedo. He wore a black tuxedo at the Oscars, so.
I know you have a couple of retail pieces in the Spirit of Halloween costume stores that the regular listener could buy and wear. Which ones are you releasing this season?
Yeah, some new pieces that I'm really excited about are, I have an exact replica costume of the outfit that Nicole Kidman wore in a photo of her getting out of a car that was used in a 1997 issue of Us Weekly.
Our producers here at Car Drivin' led me to believe that you were a celebrity costume designer, which meant you designed Halloween costumes for celebrities. But from what I'm gathering is you make costumes of celebrities, and not from their famous roles in Hollywood pictures, but just in their day-to-day life.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I've got a great Val Kilmer circa Batman Forever, but not actually a Batman costume. It's kind of a compilation of things that Val Kilmer was seen wearing to and from set during the shooting of Batman Forever.
What was he wearing?
Mostly wife beaters, cargo shorts, and those shitty black Adidas flip-flops.
Owen Luke Wilson, it's been a pleasure talking to you about celebrity costumes. Thanks for coming on.
It's been a pleasure being here. Thanks for having me.
The light that you shine can't be seen. Baby, I can bring you to a kiss from a rose on the grave. Ooh, the more I get of you, the stranger it feels, yeah. And now that your rose is in bloom, a light hits the gloom on the grave.
have all the characteristics of a human being. Flesh, blood, skin, hair. But not a single clear, identifiable emotion, except for greed and disgust. Something horrible is happening inside of me,
Turn right.
and I don't know why. My nightly bloodlust has overflowed into my days. I feel lethal, on the verge of frenzy. I think my mask of sanity is about to slip.
So I asked my Twitter fans for a few costume recommendations, and here's what I got back. At Plain Old Barry said, "Why not a zombie? Always a good go-to." Yeah, Plain Old Barry. Zombies are pretty scary. And ugly. I think I'll just stick to Ryan Gosling again this year. Thanks to everyone else who suggested costumes for me. And don't forget to send us photos of your dogs in costumes. We will be giving away prizes for the best dog costume. You and your dog could win tickets to the Foo Fighters. We'll be right back.
Hey, get out of here, you kid. I see you in your car looking at my plump, well-carved pumpkins, and I know you want to smash them. You smash them every goddamn night. But I see you now. You get out of here. I'm not leaving out the bowl of candy tonight. I'm keeping the lights on so you think I'm home, even if I'm not home. Maybe I got parties to go to. Maybe I got pumpkins I want to smash. You get out of here. Stay away from my plump, beautifully carved, artisanal, albino pumpkins. You get out of here. They're rare. You can't smash them. They're mine. I'll smash them when I'm done with them. That's my pleasure to have. You get out of here, you fucking kids.
Welcome back to Car Driving Podcast.
You have reached your destination.
Well, I guess we're here. Looks like the house is boarded up. Listener, I hate to say it, but I think you were tricked. Here's a treat. The new pumpkin spice sandwich from Quiznos, available for a limited time only. So don't forget to visit your local Quiznos. Before we go, I want to thank our generous donors to the podcast. Today we have John Silversmith, Larry McChicken, and Carl Rashad. Thanks, Carl. If you'd like to donate to Car Drivin Podcast, you could go to www.cardrivingpod.com. It's car driving with a G, because car drive-in was taken. Well, I hope you've had a good drive, and maybe you'll get home or get to Dana Carrot's party safely. This has been Car Drive-In Podcast, and happy Halloween.
I was working in the lab late one night when my eyes beheld an eerie sight, for my monster from his slab began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise, his trousers dropped right to the floor. With his bottom bare, he ran to the door. I said, Frankenstein, what's gotten into you? He said, my dick is hard and I need to screw.
He did the fuck.
He did the monster fuck.
The monster fuck.
It was a graveyard fuck.
He did the fuck.
That monster sucked and fucked.
He did the fuck.
He did the monster fuck. From my laboratory, I heard quite the racket. Deep in the castle, the vampires jacked it. The zombies all fucked in the graveyard grass. Wolfman wolfed down Frankenstein's ass. They did the monster fuck.
The monster fuck.
It was a graveyard fuck.
They did the fuck.
Those monsters sucked and they fucked.
They did the fuck.
They did the monster fuck. Oh, the beasts all fucked as the orgy spread. Bigfoot gave the headless horseman head. Swamp Thing jerked off in the castle moat, while Dracula gagged from the jizz in his throat. The fucking was wet, there was spooge like mad. Igor decided to fuck his own dad. The mummy let out a horny moan when Medusa's bare tits turned his dick to stone.
They did the fuck.
They did the monster fuck.
The monster fuck.
It was a graveyard fuck.
They did the fuck.
Those monsters sucked and fucked.
They did the fuck.
They did the monster fuck. Oh, but Frankenstein's bride was the biggest slut. Dracula got balls deep in her butt. She got titty fucked by a giant spider. Jizz made the streaks in her hair much whiter. She fucked every monster, come one, come all. Her 3 holes were filled like a bowling ball. And while monsters all fucked his undead bride, Frankenstein just jacked off and cried.
Now you should fuck.
Now you should monster fuck.
The monster fuck.
And do the graveyard fuck.
The monster fuck.
Those monsters sucked and fucked.
Now you should fuck.
Now you should monster fuck. One
now
more
you
time.
Should fuck.
Now you should monster fuck.
The monster fuck.
And do the graveyard fuck.
The monster fuck.
Those monsters sucked and they fucked.
Now you should fuck.
Now you should monster fuck.
The monster fuck.
The monster fuck.